Old X Games poster. Look, way back when mountain biking was considered extreme. Yeah, we were in the X Games, no longer. I think we're still extreme, sort of, I guess, but no longer in the X Games. Full disclosure, I do make and sell bicycle pedal hooks that are basically used for horizontal bike storage, and I have a task today, which is basically I want to get an extra bike on this little wall here, and which is a perfect example for me to show the difference between our Sprocket pedal hook and our Dan pedal hook. I think because there's been a lot of confusion on what does what and why do I even have two versions. So first things first, let's go look at the setup that I have, and then let's see if we can make this work with the other product, with the Dan for the 3 bikes on this wall. Okay, so we got the Sprocket here. It's basically a 11 gauge steel laser cut pedal hook that has a felt pad on it. And these products always come with the wheel shelves, so keep the walls clean. Yeah, so it's basically just engages in the pedal, and then it's got 2 wheel shelves and holds everything in place. And you can stagger 2 bikes, and sometimes you can do 3 bikes. This wall here is only 7 feet from radiator top to ceiling. So 7 feet, that is not a lot. So for me to be able to fit an extra bike in there, we're going to use a different product that actually leans the bike out a little bit further. So this is a 20-degree lean out, the Sprocket, and we're gonna change that to a Dan which leans the bikes out at 25 degrees. All right, let's go take these off. But actually before I take them off, I just wanna show you guys, for example, so it's 15 to center stem. We basically say you can have up to 28-inch wide handlebars for this product, which also does not work for like enduros, wider bars, anything above, where the other product goes way further. I think it goes up to like 36, some ridiculous amount. But let me take these off. They basically just lift right out, and then we can put these bikes aside until we have the new setup in place. They always come with all the screws, the hardware. You can get them with or without felt pad here. And this is what the setup looks like without the bikes on. We got these in white and in black. The Dans come in red, white, and blue. All right, let's take these all out because we're gonna have to move everything around anyway. I'm gonna place all this down. So as far as the install goes, we recommend for heavier bikes that you find a stud for the pedal hook, the center bolts. If you have a lightweight bike up to, like 20 pounds, around 20 pounds, you can actually get away with just the mollies. And we just recommend hand tightening them so you don't strip the wall anchors. Basically all the hardware removed, and I actually laid them down here, the 2 pedal hook versions that we have. So we have on this one side here is the Sprocket with the wheel shelves, and we're gonna swap it out to the Dan with the bigger wheel shelves. So just by looking at it, obviously you see what the difference is. Great for fat bikes, mountain bikes, large wheel shelves. Heavy bikes holds up to 70 pounds. This is more for road bikes, keeping it closer to the wall, narrow, lighter, more invisible. But obviously both are made from 11 gauge steel. And yeah, actually we have that is a 70-pound cruiser bike that's hanging on a Dan, which you could never hang out on a Sprocket based on how wide the handlebars are. So we're gonna use the Dan, which leans the bike out obviously a lot further just by looking at this, which will allow us to overlap the bikes more since they're leaning out further into the living space. Obviously, maybe not ideal for like hallways or so. That's where the Sprocket is the key. And then also, what's nice about the Dan is there's such a large surface as far as contact with the wall goes. There's no chance of this ripping out ever. So if you have a medium weight bike and you don't hit studs, you don't really have to worry about it. As long as you don't strip the mollies, just hand tighten those. Do a good job. Pre-drill it with a 1/4-inch drill bit and tap them in nicely, and then hand tighten them, and you should be all good. So let's start installing these. Actually, you know what? I gotta patch holes and paint first because I gotta get rid of all these holes. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, wall's almost dry. So I'm just gonna go through my things that I need. All the Dans, they always come with screw packs. 2-inch screws are in there. There's 4 Phillips head, 1 square head. The square head has a flat pan head, which are actually where the eyeball stickers go on. So that's a perfect match. Yeah, you always get a sticker kit with a King of the Mountain jersey, different eyeballs, a mustache, so you can have fun with it if you want to. I got a 1/4-inch drill bit in my drill, screw gun, little mini level hammer. Painter's tape is great to mark the location of the pedal hook as you're holding the bike in place, especially if you're by yourself. Now, I have a little bit of an interesting scenario with this wall because this is an old brick wall. It's an old brick house. So there's only 1-inch furring strips behind the sheetrock. And so the sprockets, for example, came with these 2-inch screws. They're actually white, painted white heads. And I had to shorten them because obviously I was going too deep in, hitting the brick, and the screws started getting pushed out. So very unusual wall. It's the wall I have, and that's how I deal with it. But that is only happening here for me. That should not be an issue for most people at any houses. All right, so let's talk about the bikes quick that we're hanging here. So it's basically going to be my track bike, and then Stacy's track bike. I'm 5'9", that's a medium. I think it's like a 54 centimeter frame. And Stacy is small, so she's got a small frame. So those are our two track bikes that are going up. And then I also want to fit her road bike as the third bike at the bottom. So that's where I'm not sure if this is going to work. Just taking a quick measurement from the top of the radiator, top of the wall, 83 inches. We're actually below 7 feet by an inch. So I don't know if I'm wasting a lot of time here trying to fit this in here, because that is not a lot of space for 3 bikes. The other pictures and videos that I've shown about the 3 bike install was an 8-foot tall wall where I had 3 of my bikes and kind of loosely fit, so that wasn't really a problem. This is going to have to get installed really tight to make it work. If you do have a mountain bike, anything with the widest handlebar has to be up top, because whatever the issue is on overlapping is actually handlebars hitting the bike above. So that's where you limit yourself as far as overlapping goes. But the extra 5 degrees lean out from the Dan or the Sprocket will make it a little bit easier, meaning I can overlap the bikes a little bit higher. So let's get it rolling. So what I always like to do as a little, helper is have a little piece of painter tape, which is going to mark the position of my first pedal hook. Since you have to imagine the pedal hook engages basically this way to the wall and to the pedal. So I can hold up the bike against the wall without the pedal hook and just mark the location of the pedal. And then from there, I can figure out where my pedal hook's going to be. So let's do that now. All right. So with this one, I definitely want to go as high as possible. This is when I start touching the ceiling with the seat. So this is basically as high as I can go. Now I'm going to place a piece of tape there. So makes it a little bit easy. It's still a little bit of a guesstimation. So I'm going to loosely put the Dan in there and hang the bike and see that I'm as tight as possible to the ceiling. So I'm going to use these 1-inch sheetrock screws temporarily. That's not what is going to eventually be in here full term. So if I just go above that, that should kind of go a little higher, line up with my painter's tape. And if I have to fix it, I'll fix it. I'll go down a little bit. So I'll just go really gentle. Don't strip it, because right now it's only really holding the sheetrock, so it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not what you want to do. You want to put the molly in later. It has to be done. You cannot hang the bike this way permanently. This is just for me to see the height, because this is a little bit of a puzzle trying to get these 3 bikes in there. Let's see if I can get this in and over. All right, so I got this up there, but if you see, I still have like a good 2.5, 3 inches that I can gain. So I'm going to go up another 2 inches from where I am right now, which that will bring me in the highest position that this bike can live in. And then I'm going to install it right there. All right, let's see. I just moved the whole thing up a little bit. Let's see if I can still get it in there. I can get it in there. This is as high as it goes. And I am basically touching the ceiling here with this bike. So that is as high as it goes. My first hole, unfortunately, has to get patched and painted again. But it's not a big deal. I can do that when I'm done at the end. So I can move this out and I can permanently install this stand and then do my wheel shelves because the wheel's already dirtying up my wall. I got the first stand is up. Let's hang this guy up here and let's find the locations for our wheel shelves. So the reason why you definitely need a front wheel shelf is because the bike will want to slide actually. The front wheel is basically just the friction of the wall works okay. If you have high gloss paint, a little dust on the tire, it's gonna start sliding basically. So what I do with this usually, I just mark basically the corner of the shelf this way. So then I can take it off and drill holes, do whatever I need to do. This is definitely as high as I want to go. All right, so then I have this little level actually. It's kind of convenient. It's magnetic. I can line this up now with my corner of the painter's tape. Kind of have it level, hold it there. And let's see if that stays there so I can talk. Because usually I stick these these screws in my mouth and then I can't talk. So chances are, yeah, I'm hitting the brick. So this is my scenario. So I have to shorten these screws and then have to put some ollies into. There you go. Let's just drive this in. It's probably, yeah, same thing. So as you can see, this is as far as those 2-inch screws goes. I have to shorten the screws. Yeah, I'm screwed. So I'm gonna just take these out and cut them down a little bit. It'll take a second, and then drill the 1/4-inch holes and put that in. Actually, figured out the easiest way to shorten the screws just with a bolt cutter, because they're going into a molly, so it goes into soft plastic or nylon, whatever that is. So bolt cutter will work. Takes a second. And then let's pre-drill this with the 1/4-inch bit. Yeah, I hit in the brick. Definitely brick there. The one wandered a little bit too, but there's not that much weight on these shelves. That's the one. It's the second one. All the way in. I got my 2 shortened screws. And that's biting. Oh, really? Where is it? There it is. Okay, that is good. I'm gonna hang the bike one more time here. And you definitely don't want to start from the bottom. You want to start from the top down, because you can't overlap. You have to work your way up underneath the bikes. It's a struggle the other way around from the bottom up, because you have to lift the bike over the other bike to find the position of it. So that's where this lives. So taking it off. It's a lot of on and off and on and off here, but if you do it once, you don't have to do it again. All right, get another shelf here. Put the level on. So I don't know if I mentioned, but all of our products are made in America. They're all made in the USA. Actually, powder coated locally here in Kingston, New York. So let's make this level. Good. So I do want to say thank you for anybody who's bought one of these, is going to buy one of these. It is not easy to make stuff in the USA and keep it price competitive. We are, as far as I can tell, the only American-made paddle hook, spike hook, just anything. I mean, who am I kidding? There's not much stuff made in the USA anymore. And I know why. It is not cheap to make stuff, but I have seen knockoffs of our product in on websites on Amazon, and I've bought some and I've tested them, and there's a lot of shady stuff going on. We were the first paddle hook ever in the USA to sell, and now it's swampland, basically. Tons of copycats and a lot of false advertisements about companies saying that they can, put 3 bikes on one wall this way, and most of the times, well, it depends on how much wall space you have, I guess. You have like a 10-foot wall and it's easy. But then it's also, you gotta take in consideration what kind of bike it is. Once you're dealing with mountain bikes, most pedal hooks are kind of out. I mean, like I said, the Sprocket works very well with a handlebar width up to 27 inches, but once you're above that, you're gonna have a problem. And then you need a pretty big pedal hook. And then once I get that big, you have to use pretty heavy steel, and everything gets pretty heavy. Like a set of the Dan, like 2 wheel shelves and the pedal hook itself, that whole unit weighs about 6 pounds. So it's a lot of steel. Yeah, but like I said, thank you for supporting Made in USA. Cool. So 1 is up. I know 2 will be no problem. The 3rd one, I don't know if I'm going to run out of space here. Stay tuned. Holding it where I think I'm going to end up. Eyeballing it. Sticking a piece of tape where on my eyeball. Looked at it. Basically, I make eye contact with the piece of the wall where I think it ends up. And yeah, let's give that a try and see if that works. I'm gonna use temporarily the 1/2-inch sheetrock screws. Let's not get carried away with thinking I'm gonna get this right from the get-go. Alright, so I did offset them a little bit just so that I can get the handlebars behind the fork. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. This one got some dirty tires, so it's not staying. It's the front. If I let go, the front wheel slides. So this is why you definitely need a front wheel shelf, and then might as well have a rear wheel shelf and keep the walls clean all the way. So, but I have to hold this bike. This is not going to stay. This is not bad. It could actually almost still make it a little higher, but you can see how much I'm past the hub up there. So it's almost as good as it gets. Some rough estimate. We have a gap from one Dan to the next Dan, about 22 inches. The next Dan to the next Dan would be 22 inches. right there. Okay. From Dan to wheels, shelves, about 19. Okay, so again, the 22, and then I gotta go 19. Oof, I got like an inch. The way it is right now, I might have an inch before the radiator. I think that's fine. An inch is an inch. I'll take it. All right. Yep. But I think it's just deep enough before I hit the brick that my mollies will go in nicely. So I should clean this up a little better. Don't need the blue tape anymore. Like if you're not, excuse me, hey, drop it. That's not a toy. Pepper, can you just, I love you. Can you just let daddy work? Thank you. I recommend hand tightening unless you're really comfortable and used to your screw gun and you can feather it like super gentle. This is like, I love this screw gun, so. But we do recommend hand tightening it so you don't strip the mollies in it. You have to make a bigger hole, and then you have to use a bigger screw, and then you'll be mad at me. You'll probably be mad at me anyway, because a 3-bike install takes a bit of time. Maybe it takes a couple of extra holes here and there, but you're gaining a whole lot of floor space. You know, it's kind of cool. Plus it'll look really, really nice when it's done. All right, so now I got the second set of Dans installed. Let me put on the little track bike here, little Stacy's bike. Good. That's fine. So now, is that enough space for a third bike? It's this one right there. Let's find out what we got here. I think I'm just gonna make it. All right, let's see if I can actually get a little bit better of a measurement. I can have it resting on the radiator at the bottom. That's resting there. So I'm still looking up that way. I got space, so I can go an inch higher from where I am. I'm just gonna, let's see if I can get the drill in there. Kind of score mark this spot there. And then probably bring it like, let's see, an inch up. Yeah, maybe an inch. Oh, don't drop it. There it is. Yeah, this is one of those few times where you want to have 3 arms and you don't. All right, got the third Dan temporarily mounted. That's the moment of truth here. I have a good feeling about this. All right. I am above the radiator. I am gonna get this done. The 3 bikes on one wall, 7 feet. There you go. So that's where I'm going to install this one. And then do the wheel shelves. And then eyeball stickers, maybe some touch-ups, but call it a day. And then each Dan comes with a square drive bid, so you don't have to worry about not having a square drive bid. It'll come with it. Oh, all right. This would be the final piece of the puzzle. The third set of Dans, obviously, is up on the wall, an inch above my radiator. Just the way I thought it would be. Let's make sure that I didn't mess up the last little bit. That goes in easy, always the bottom one. Okay. There it is. Ta-da! The triple play. All right. It worked. I would have been really bummed if that didn't work. So that is it. We have officially a three bike install on a 7-foot wall. By the way, this is Pepper, our new puppy. One of my bikes, medium-sized track bike, 2 Stacy bikes, so all drop bar bikes on a 7-foot wall. For me, I think if I had 3 of my bikes, I probably would need a little bit more. I mean, I only had 1 inch at the bottom to spare. If you are using a mountain bike somewhere in the middle there, put that at the top. You're gonna need more space. I would say mountain bike and 2 medium-sized road bikes. I would say minimum of 8 feet of floor to ceiling height. Other than that, I appreciate you guys supporting a Made in USA product, keeping it local, and maybe I'll see you out on the trails or on the road, and I'll go ride your bike. Have fun. Bye. What are you, eating yourself? What the hell's wrong with you?